at a time when the automobile industry in India has been going through what a lot of people call a turnaround, the rubber industry is also catching up, and to act as a blessing for them, rubber prices have also been benign. To take us through for more developments and how the rubber industry is shaping up, we have with us Mr. Raghupati Singhania of JK Tyre. Sir, if I could throw the first question to you about rubber prices as such, they have been benign, but for how long do you see this sustaining? Your margins have been good, thanks to benign rubber prices, but do you see this outlook, this trend sustaining?
You see, this is seasonal. We must remember there is a seasonal factor. In the earlier month of May, the prices were sky high again, and they have come down now because it's a tapping season. And I hope that they will be sustained on a reasonable base level, at least until March or so, when the tapping season stops, and there is a so to say an off season. So this is purely a matter of season. And second, of course, the international factor of Chinese demand or pull, that has not changed materially, nor does it look like changing. So that shouldn't affect. Otherwise, that external factor could also be affected. So we see a fairly stable rubber price for the time being, until at least early next year.
So what sort of margins are you playing with right now, considering we're talking about rubber prices and margins? Could you give us more light on what sort of margins are you playing with on a net basis right now?
Well, we are working on EBITDA margin of 17 to 18%. And I think those margins are the one which are based on these low prices of rubber, so to say. And they should be there for a while, hopefully.
Also speaking about the imports, Chinese imports have largely hit the market of Indian tire makers for long years now, and there has been a demand from you and the Tire Association at large on imposing more sanctions at this. Are you getting something more positive from the government side in terms of imposing sanctions on Chinese tire imports?
The word is not sanctions, but anti-dumping duty.
Yeah.
But anyway, incidentally, to put the facts right, until January 2015, there was an anti-dumping duty. They had to be renewed. And that matter has been dragging its feet ever since. And now the menace of Chinese has crossed all proportions, to my mind, because nearly 41% of the truck bus radial replacement market is Chinese. And they are dumping their tires at 25 to 30% below the selling prices that we have, and these prices sometimes don't even cover the raw material prices. So it is a great concern to us, and it has now impairing the tire industry's capacity utilization and also causing harm and injury, as they put it. We have been after the government to act on it, to impose anti-dumping duty at suitable rates. They are moving slow, but I do hope that things should happen sooner than later.
Right, so that's talking largely about the industry. If you were to talk in particular about JK Tyres, what sort of sales outlook could we expect for both the ongoing quarter and the rest of the fiscal, keeping in light the increase in Chinese imports and on your side, that is benign rubber prices?
You see, giving more detail would be forecasting, but all I can say is reasonably stable, and the Chinese are there, but we are not overly subdued because of the Chinese. We have our own strategy, we have our own value offerings for the product, which Chinese don't. And if anything, we have been able to increase our sales in the recent months in truck radials, and we propose to continue to do so, and more so with the additional capacity we have at our command with the Cavendish acquisition, as also commissioning of our expansion of the Chennai facility in December 15. So I think we will do a decent job in the coming months in terms of our market participation.
Right, so if you could give us a ballpark figure on, say sales numbers that we're looking at, what sort of a growth, on-year growth should we see for this fiscal?
Well, I don't look at growth more than single-digit growth, high single digits. That's about all I can say, because the commercial segment has still not picked up.
Yeah.
The car segment has certainly picked up, and so has the farm sector. But then, when you talk about value terms, it's a different game. This is number game we talked about. The values come from commercial tires, really, the heavy, more valuable tires. And that sector is still to pick up. So let's see what happens.
Right, so one last question, if I may. your brand, that JK Tornel brand, your premium offering, hasn't seen a big presence in India so far, whereas Pirelli, Continental, and Michelin are in a way coming into India with the inflow of luxury cars in India. Does JK Tyre have plans to get the Tornel brand into India in the near future in a big way?
You see, so far Tornel has not come to India because of our own strategy. We decided not to bring it in. On the contrary, we have just introduced 6 months back our tires in the premium passenger range known as UX1 and UX Royal, and on one hand and on the other hand Ranger series, which are in the SUV application, and they've done extremely well and they are competing with the best in the class. But as far as the Tornel is concerned, we will consider in due course to bring in that brand in India as well.
So I'll take the liberty of putting in one last question, if I may. Is JK Tyre looking to foray into any new categories? You've put it quite clearly in the past also that you won't go into two-wheelers. But apart from two-wheelers, within four-wheelers, are you looking at foraying into any new category?
If you analyze, now we are in the full range. Right from the 3.7 ton extra ultra large OTRs to a 3 kilo scooter tire. So we are in a complete range of all possible four-wheeler tires, if I may say all possible, including the heavies, the mediums and the lights. We are also in the space of industrial tires like forklifts and so on, although our quantities have been so far small, but we are building up that business. So we are present in across the range, and the 2 and 3 wheelers was the one which we were very keen to enter, and now lo and behold we have entered it with thanks to acquisition of Cavendish. So I don't know if there's too much of a scope in any more four-wheelers.
Right, so I think we'll keep it at that. Thank you so much for speaking to Bloomberg Quinn. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.